It's the Buckeye State or Bust this Labor Day. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton both holding events in the key battleground of Ohio as we enter a crucial stretch of the campaign. And time is of the essence now, with only a little more than 2 months until Election Day. Good morning, everyone. Happy Labor Day. I'm Greg Jarrett, live in America's Newsroom.
Good to be with you, Greg.
Good to be here.
Happy Labor Day to all of you. I'm Abby Huntsman. Bill and Martha are off, and that's where we begin. Ohio, as we know, is a bellwether state every presidential year. And according to the Real Clear Politics average, Trump is right in the thick of things, trailing Clinton by only about 3 points. Trump also cutting into her lead nationally, now within single digits as the candidates hit the trail hard in their final sprint for the White House. And that is where we find Peter Ducey is live in Canfield, Ohio. And Peter, as you know, never a dull moment on the trail. Now Donald Trump and Arizona Senator Jeff Flake are fighting. What is going on here?
What's going on is that Trump doesn't think Flake has given him enough support in his home state out west. So last night, Donald Trump took to Twitter and he wrote that, quote, "The great state of Arizona, where I just had a massive rally, amazing people, has a very weak and ineffective Senator, Jeff Flake. Sad." And that came a few hours after Senator Flake said this.
Well, it becomes increasingly difficult to see that he's going to change. So I don't expect that I'll be able to support him in November. And I'd like to. He's the Republican nominee. I just don't see how I can.
That inter-party back and forth came after Trump did some outreach that's rare for a Republican nominee this close to an election. He visited a black church in Detroit's inner city and called for a new civil rights agenda during some brief remarks there, basically promising to bring his business expertise to the inner city to create jobs and improve schools in places that badly need both. Trump also sympathized with the lifelong struggles with discrimination of the people that he was speaking to have endured, and his remarks seem to be very well received by an enthusiastic audience there. Abby?
Well, they're both in Ohio today, as you said, Peter. How closely are people paying attention to their visit? What, we're a little more than 60 days now before the election. Can you believe it?
You know what? It's hard for voters here in Ohio, one of the most important swing states, to avoid stuff this holiday weekend like this. We're at the Canfield County Fair. It's the biggest county fair in Ohio, and they're building a wall. Mexico's not paying for this one, of course. People who donate $5 can get a brick, and they're building these things. We came yesterday, and people wanted pictures with this or wanted bricks to buy to write stuff on as much as anything else, as much as any other attraction at the fair. This has been getting a lot of attention. So to answer your question, it seems like people here are paying very close attention on the now unofficial kickoff to the final leg of the campaign. Abby?
I love it. I love it. All right, Peter, live for us in Canfield, Ohio this morning. Peter, thanks.
In the meantime, Hillary Clinton's campaign is certainly on the defense right now amid startling new revelations in her email scandal. The FBI summary of its investigation showing that a laptop computer that held an archive of her emails when she was Secretary of State, poof, vanished. It went missing after being put in the mail. Well, her running mate, Senator Tim Kaine, defending her, while also admitting that Clinton didn't make the right choices.
What these notes demonstrate is in very significant detail why the FBI chose not to go forward with any additional proceeding. She did make a mistake, and she made it by deciding she wanted to use one device rather than multiple devices. She's apologized for that. She said it was a mistake, and she's learned from it.
One device? He clearly hasn't read the FBI notes. Katie Pavlich joined Just News editor of townhall.com and a Fox News contributor. All right, so he's way off by a factor of 13 on the number of devices she was using, and she got grilled on that by the FBI. So it was up to Chris Christie, Trump advisor, to try to straighten Kaine out. Here he is.
All we know is that she's told us she had one device, and that's why she used her private email server, John. And now we find out this week from the FBI 13 different mobile devices and 5 different iPads, most of which are now gone.
Is Kaine's misdirection, or dare I say it, dishonesty, if that's what it really is, the same thing that has been dogging the Hillary Clinton campaign, and he's not helping?
Look, the cover-up continues. I mean, it's in black and white, the facts of the case and what the FBI found surrounding Hillary Clinton's email case. As you just stated, there were 13 devices that were used. There were 5 different iPads used, 3 of which were turned over to the FBI, 2 are missing. As you said at the top of the segment, there is a laptop that was mailed by a Clinton staffer that was, by the way, a Clinton Foundation laptop that contained Hillary Clinton's entire State Department archive. So there's that connection. But it was put in the mail and somehow lost before it got to Hillary Clinton. I mean, the American people look at this and go, how is someone like this getting away with it? And then you add on to this that the Clinton archive was deleted and swiped 2 weeks after the New York Times revealed to the country that she was, in fact, using a private server. And if that's not intent, I'm not sure what is.
What's really striking about these FBI notes of her interview is that she seems utterly oblivious about how to do her job in handling classified documents. She didn't know that C meant classified. She said, I don't recall roughly 40 times, didn't recall classified training, briefings, didn't recall even getting classified security clearance. Couldn't determine how classification happens, couldn't identify clearly classified documents when they were presented to her by the FBI. If she is not competent to handle classified materials as Secretary of State, how is she competent to be president?
Well, there's 2 issues here. The first is that Hillary argues in this FBI interview that she believed the C classification didn't stand for classified information, but that, in fact, it stood for alphabetizing these emails as a way to organize the emails in
except there was no A,
order.
B, and D,
there was no
and E,
A,
and
B,
F,
C, D, E. It never went on. Right, exactly. That's the first problem. The second problem is that Hillary Clinton was the First Lady. She was a senator from New York. She was a Secretary of State. For her to argue to the American people that she didn't know how to classify information, what classified information was, and for her to argue that to the FBI is not only untrue, but it's laughable and an insult. It's insulting to the American people's intelligence. They're not stupid. They look at this and say, how is it that she got away with this in terms of saying that she was ignorant, pleading ignorance? That's not a defense for the American people. It certainly is for her.
You know, Tim Kaine also said, look, you know, in the Senate, it's really hard to determine classified documents. Well, that's not the case here. She was confronted with documents showing an advanced military drone strike against an enemy, and she said, well, A, I don't remember that, and B, gee, I didn't know if that was classified or not. Really?
Well, Greg, when you have bleach bit and hammers involved, it's very clear what the intention here was to destroy the evidence of what went on. There was obviously a lot of coordination between the Clinton Foundation and Hillary Clinton. There was classified information on her private server, which, of course, the reason the FBI investigated that is because that is a federal crime if you were, found to have done it intentionally. There weren't a lot of questions about intent here, but it's clear. Right,
gross negligence. It's not just intent, gross negligence.
Many of her BlackBerries are still missing. I mean, you look at the details of this and you go, how is it that they came to the conclusion that she didn't deserve prosecution?
Indeed. That's really the million-dollar question. Katie Pavlich, thank you for being with us this Labor Day.
Thanks, Greg.
Good to see you.